All hell has broken loose. Right now, the tension around this Bugatti Chiron rebuild has officially reached boiling point. And I'm guessing most of you haven't even heard about this yet because things just escalated in a way nobody expected. Bugatti CEO Mate Rimac has finally stepped in and uploaded a video directly addressing the viral claims about Bugatti parts costing absurd, almost unbelievable amounts of money. Claims that have shaped public opinion around this entire rebuild. And honestly, this probably would never have happened if this guy hadn't stepped in. That's why he's the GOAT in this business. But before we dive into everything that was said, everything that was implied, and everything that was very carefully avoided, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Now let's continue. Bugatti CEO Mate Rimac made some very bold statements in his response. And instead of paraphrasing him or twisting his words, I'll let you see it directly from him.
And then there's just so much information out there that's simply not true. All the prices you hear about Bugatti service and so on, it's rumors, it's not the truth. Just an example, there's online stories about Bugatti headlights being 150,000 per pair, but it's not the case. It's actually 25,000 per headlight, so 50,000 for the...
If you noticed, Rimac pushed back hard against the idea that Bugatti parts cost millions for simple components. He explained that many of the prices floating around online were exaggerated, misrepresented, or taken wildly out of context. According to him, the viral figures people were using to paint Bugatti as unreasonable simply weren't accurate. But that wasn't the most important part of his message. What really mattered was what came next. Rimac insisted that the Chiron must be sent back to the Bugatti factory for proper repairs. Not suggested, not recommended, required.
A very valuable asset, this car, right? A Chiron or a Tourbillon or whatever. And if something big happens, and that car was in a big accident, you don't see all the damage, unfortunately. Like the gearbox broke, the gearbox housing broke, and also there is structural damage on the monocoque from underneath that you don't see, not the front, but underneath. And if you want to repair that properly, you can't just do that in a garage. I'll just show you a simple example on an airbag. So this is the Tourbillon airbag, and this is how it should work in normal conditions on 23, like room temperature, 23 degrees. So the leather on top of the airbag has some weakening points, which you can't see from outside. That's quite important that you don't see it. So, and it needs to be like that.
His reasoning was simple but serious. The Bugatti Chiron can suffer from hidden structural damage that cannot be detected from the outside. Specifically, he pointed to potential damage to the carbon fiber monocoque. And according to Rimac, damage to the monocoque may not show visible cracks or obvious deformation, yet still compromise the integrity of the entire car. He also noted that the gearbox housing on this Chiron is broken, not scratched, not cracked cosmetically, broken. And when you're dealing with a car capable of approaching 400 kilometers per hour, close enough simply isn't acceptable. Rimac made it very clear. Repairing a vehicle with this level of performance, complexity, and speed requires factory-level tools. And those are things Matt Armstrong and his team simply do not have access to. From Bugatti's perspective, this isn't about ego, it's about safety. Rimac explained that Bugatti cannot support this rebuild because if something goes wrong later, if the car fails at speed, if an accident happens, that responsibility comes back to Bugatti. Not the YouTuber, not the independent workshop, the brand. He then went even deeper into safety concerns by explaining how specific the Chiron's components really are. The airbags, for example, are not generic units that can be swapped in from another high-end car. They are engineered, produced, and calibrated specifically for the Bugatti Chiron. Using an airbag that fits, but is not calibrated exactly to the Chiron's sensors, crash algorithms, and deployment logic is dangerous. According to Rimac, using non-calibrated or substitute components could pose a serious risk to the owner. And from Bugatti's standpoint, allowing parts to be sold into an independent rebuild opens the door to liability they simply cannot accept. Rimac also stated that Bugatti did make a fair offer to repair the car themselves. The option was there. Factory repair, factory certification, factory responsibility. But FX Alex G chose the independent route instead. According to Rimac, that decision wasn't about necessity, it was about content, about clicks, about visibility. At the same time, Rimac made sure to say that he respects Matt Armstrong. He acknowledged Matt's skills, his passion, and his craftsmanship. But he still believes that supporting this rebuild is neither safe nor appropriate for the Bugatti brand. And on the surface, that all sounds reasonable. But here's where things start to get complicated. Because Matt Armstrong isn't trying to do what Bugatti is accusing him of. Matt is not attempting to restore this Chiron to factory specifications. That would be impossible without Bugatti's cooperation. What Matt is actually doing is something very different. He's proving that independent hypercar rebuilds are possible, even when manufacturers completely refuse support. This project isn't about certification, it isn't about resale value, and it definitely isn't about pretending this is factory correct. Without Bugatti selling parts, Matt is forced into fabrication and creative sourcing for almost every single component on this car. The front aluminum structure is a perfect example. That entire assembly needs to be reconstructed from scratch. And it's not just a random piece of metal, it's load-bearing. It manages crash forces. It supports cooling systems, suspension components, and aerodynamic elements. That iconic horseshoe shape isn't just a design feature, it's structural. Replicating it so it can handle the forces generated by a 1,600 plus horsepower hypercar requires extreme precision and serious metalworking expertise. Then there are the radiators. These aren't off-the-shelf units Matt can order from a catalog. They're shaped specifically to fit the Chiron's packaging, airflow channels, and thermal demands. Without Bugatti supplying them, Matt has to either find aftermarket equivalents or commission custom units that match the required performance envelope. The carbon fiber body panels are another nightmare. Bugatti won't sell them. That means Matt has to rely on specialist composite repair techniques or aftermarket reproduction parts. Both options are expensive, time-consuming, and nowhere near as straightforward as calling a dealer. And then we get to the headlights. Even after Rimac corrected the price, stating that the headlights are around $50,000 for the pair, that number alone completely destroys the feasibility of an independent rebuild. That's just for headlights, not sensors, not calibration, just lights. For Matt, those are simply out of reach, which means aftermarket solutions, custom housings, modified internals, workarounds that Bugatti would never approve of, but that allow the project to continue. This is exactly why Matt asked his community for help before the project even went public. He wasn't being dramatic, he wasn't chasing hype. He needed people with Bugatti connections, former factory technicians, specialists who've worked on these cars privately, anyone with access to knowledge, parts, or experience that official channels refuse to provide. Because this rebuild isn't just difficult, it's intentionally blocked at every step. The transmission is another looming issue, because just 21 hours after Rimac posted his explanation video, FX Alex G dropped 2 comments that completely dismantled Bugatti's entire argument. The first comment was devastatingly simple. "Okay, so can you sell us headlights, please? It has nothing to do with safety." That single sentence exposed the fundamental flaw in Rimac's safety narrative. Headlights are not safety-critical components in the way airbags, monocoques, or braking systems are. They don't require splitting the car in half. They don't require factory-only tooling. Any competent technician can install them correctly. So if safety were truly the concern, Bugatti should logically be willing to sell non-safety critical parts like headlights while refusing components that genuinely affect occupant safety. But they won't. What happens next is going to be fascinating. Bugatti has spoken, Matt hasn't backed down, and the internet is watching closely. Because depending on how this unfolds, it could change how manufacturers interact with independent builders forever. So keep your eyes open, because what comes next might redefine what's possible and who really controls the cars we think we own.